Hey, good morning. Today is Monday, June the 3rd, 2024. The time now is 7:22 a.m. So last week I uploaded a video, or I made a program last week about the president of Kenya, William Ruto, about his trip to the United States that was basically advertised as a state visit to the United States. And in that video, I stress that William Ruto, okay, basically, based on the fact that he took a trip that cost the people of Kenya $1.5 million, United States dollars. A trip that, if I do remember correctly, basically a trip that every hour or so, okay, that William Ruto was on the trip, every hour or so that the William Ruto's administration rent a private luxury jet from a Dubai-based company, okay, cost the people of Kenya about $18,000, which total $1.5 million. So, in that, I stress that one, William Ruto probably had planned this trip, his government had planned this trip for a while, or two, this trip came about as a result of the death of the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, whose plane crashed, okay, in a mountainous region in the northeastern part of Iran. So now that is a very interesting thing, that it is said that the helicopter that was carrying the president of Iran basically was over 30 years old. And that is also the case of the Kenyan government's plane, which flies, okay, that's supposed to fly the president of Kenya. But in this case, William Ruto, whether he decided his trip way in advance or the changes came about as a result of the death of Ibrahim Raisi and he was afraid. So he decided to go and rent a plane from a Dubai-based company. I did stress in the program last week that what William Ruto did basically demonstrated his lack of empathy for the people of Kenya, or lack of empathy and lack of respect for the people of Kenya and the people of Africa. I want to add to that. I do believe, and I will add, that it is also a demonstration of pure stupidity. Because in previous weeks, Kenya basically had seen massive floods, which basically led to the bursting or the collapse of a dam, which basically sent flood water in a vast area, okay, leading to, by the time when I made the video, about 228 people have died, about 200,000 or so people of Kenya, okay, or the region, had basically been displaced and thousands of properties destroyed. That being the case, you would expect the president of Kenya to basically have common sense, okay? But what this trip of William Ruto demonstrated also the fact that African leaders, one, do not know how to say no and have no choice, okay, when it comes to their interaction with the West, especially the Western powers. And the reason for this is that despite the fact that William Ruto had talked a lot and he talks a bunch of sweet talks, he's basically is appearing to not be what he purports himself to be. Now, the trip apparently was basically called by the United States President Joe Biden. Basically, this means that William Ruto's trip was a result of the invitation of Joe Biden. Now, let's say that this trip was planned way in advance, because one of the reasons also for this trip was to discuss Kenya's participation in the situation in Haiti, basically to send some police forces into Haiti. And I don't know how that is necessary. Haiti needs a stable government and a stable military. Why the heck are you sending Kenyan police force or forces into Haiti? Why is it that an English-speaking Kenya is sending its police forces, okay, English-speaking forces, to Haiti, a French-speaking country? The trip was, let's say, it was planned way in advance, okay, and it was basically the invitation of the U.S. President Joe Biden. Given the recent flood in Kenya, one would expect that William Ruto, one, either cancel the trip, or two, tell Joe Biden, you know what, you come instead. Matter of fact, you are the president of the United States, a country with unlimited resources. You have an Air Force One that flies all over the place. What about you come to Kenya? Let's discuss what we have to discuss. Okay? That is perhaps a very sensible way to conduct such business. Or he can basically, through his government, message the U.S. government and the White House. It doesn't feel good or seem good or right that our president make such trip to the United States where he has to rent, or the government of Kenya has to rent a private jet, a private luxury jet from Dubai that will basically cost Kenya $1.5 million, while thousands of Kenyans have been displaced due to a flood or a bursting of a dam, and hundreds of people have died. It doesn't make sense to basically conduct this trip, or to conduct this trip in the manner in which it is supposed to happen. But again, we do have leaders in Africa, and in this case, William Ruto, who seems to be fixated in trying to be celebrities, okay, in trying to be welcomed by the West, or approved by the West, or accepted by the West. Whether William Ruto decided to make this trip because he wanted to be in the White House or not, it is very interesting. And it is said that in over 2 decades, okay, in over 2 decades, William Ruto was basically the first Kenyan president to visit the White House in over 2 decades, and the first African president to do so in about 16 years or so. Whether he was thinking about making history or just trying to look important, it's very interesting, and it is unknown. However, the fact that he decided to go on such trip to the United States in a manner that basically forced him to rent a jet from a for-profit company based in Dubai, which cost the people of Kenya about 18,000 US dollar per hour or so, totaling about 1.5 million United States dollars throughout the full day's trip. It is very unnecessary and insulting to the people of Kenya, and in the large scheme of things, to the people of Africa. And the reason why I keep saying the people of Africa, because I do believe when one African country or its president, when one African president humiliates his people, it is also a humiliation for the rest of Africa. And we are seeing that happening throughout Africa. We have leaders who are doing nothing but humiliating the people of their countries, and also the people of Africa in general. But once again, I have to stress that the fact that William Ruto decided to go on this trip to the United States, this 4 days trip to the United States, which cost the people of Kenya $1.5 million. In addition to it being a demonstration of William Ruto's lack of empathy for the people of Kenya or the people of Africa, it is also a demonstration of pure stupidity and the fact that African leaders do not know when to say no or do not have the ability or the choice of saying no, because all of them, or a very significant number of them, are basically held by the nose or by the brain or by the throat by Western governments, Western power, Western powers, and Western financial institutions. I'm going to end here. Tell me what you think. Tell me what I say wrong, what I'm missing, and what I can do in the future or say in the future to be logical and to sound right. But most importantly, thank you very much for watching The Echoing Voice. Peace.